moving on with the next question in our NEET triple test series. You see here we are having an organic compound A with molecular formula C8H8O, correct? First and very most important thing which I want to tell you is it's like a suggestion you can take, okay? Because this question is very lengthy, as you can see. It is like more than 4 or 5 lines, and all you have is just 60 seconds to answer this in your exam tension, okay? Basically, I'll just give you some hints, okay? What are all the things you want to look in this particular question? Because not only this examination is not going to test only your knowledge, okay, it also tests your dexterity, how well you understood the concept, and how well you can extract the data from this question, yes or no. I hope with this you are also thinking of the same. Okay, now you see here, by looking at this question, this molecular formula, what are the things I can say? This compound belongs to either alcohol containing hydrocarbons or aldehydes or ketones, right? Or carbonyl compounds. There is no halogen derivatives. It is not, carboxylic acids. You know that very well. There is no nitrogen. So no need for thinking those reactions, right? Okay. So we see here. And what are the other details I can take? Because at the end, what we need to find is just compound A and compound B. Okay. So you see, they are saying orange red precipitate with 2,4 DNP. DNP is nothing but dinitrophenylhydrazine, correct? And what is the formula for that? It is a benzene containing compound. Here you are having N and here H, correct? Double bond H and H, correct? So here at ortho position you are having NO2 and at para position again you are having NO2, nitro compound, okay? So basically this question is straight away from NCRT book, okay? So that thing you have to keep in mind. And in NCRT we know in the chemical properties of aldehydes there is a separate section dedicated for this, okay? I'm just telling this for your reference, okay? So you see any carbonyl compounds, okay, when we are reacting it with ammonia derivatives basically, okay, let's say hydrogen, okay, so this is our hydrogen. What do we get? This goes for a dehydration process, correct? What is dehydration? It is nothing but removal of water, right? Okay, so you see what do we get as product? We are getting this as our product. Okay, I made a mistake here, excuse me. So we are having n single bond NH2, correct? So it's not, if you ask me whether it's only for this compound, no, it's for all the nitrogen containing compounds here, correct? You see, you're having, it must have two hydrogen atoms. That nitrogen atom must have two hydrogen combined to it, okay? And let's take any group. Let's say that group has X, whatever it is, okay? And this goes for all the carbonyl compounds, be it aldehydes or be it ketone, okay? So what we are going to do? We are going to do, the general mechanism remains the same, okay? So we are going to get a product which is going to have this kind of structure, okay? That's it. So can we apply the same knowledge here? If you look at here, we are having the same thing here, right? We are having 2H, yes or no? And this group is nothing but our, there we have taken one X group, right? This is the same group here, okay? Okay, now listen, this is our 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazine, okay? Now listen, what I'm going to react it with? I'm going to react it with this compound, okay? So, if we are getting orange red precipitate, what does it mean? That means either it should be aldehyde or ketone. Now what I'm doing, I'm eliminating alcohol from my choice, okay? Perfect. Now look at the next thing. And what they are saying is, and it's giving yellow precipitate on heating with iodine, okay, in presence of sodium hydroxide. So what reagent is this? Iodine, sodium hydroxide. Okay. So studying it in a statement, because there are two aspects, okay, psychology speaking. One thing is you might have practiced, okay, writing like I2 NaOH likewise. But all of a sudden you are seeing it in a textual form. What happens is your brain struggles to identify it, yes or no. So at that time, okay, in order to remove that kind of bias thing, what you have to do is just write it in an equation form. That is what I usually suggest. So you see, we are having I2 on NaOH, correct? Which is nothing but an haloform reaction. Now we know that, right? Okay. If they are giving yellow precipitate means there is a formation of chloroform. sorry, iodoform, correct? This is an iodoform test. So this precipitate will result in yellow precipitate. That means, very simple. In order for a compound to be positive in haloform test, what should be there? Either CH3 C double bond O group must be there, or it should have CH3 COH H, correct? This can be anything, it can be bonded to anything, okay? But this must be, this P should be there, correct? In order to give positive iodoform test, okay? That thing we know, okay? Now look at the next line. They are saying it neither reduces tolerance or fillings reagent. Okay. So what are these? Basically, what are these tests? If you take tolerance or fillings, so for that understanding, we must know what are all the compounds that give positive tolerance and fillings test. Basically, aldehydes, both aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes test positive for tolerance reagent. Both ketones doesn't test positive in both these tests, correct, in these both reagents, because ketones, it is very difficult to oxidize ketones, okay? So here what are all the things I can eliminate? Here it is neither reducing tolerance or fillings reagent, means what are all the possible compounds? So it can either be ketone, correct? So our suspect is the compound we want to identify is ketone, okay? Now I came to that conclusion, partially 90%. Okay, still I'm not very clear. Let's move on to the next line. What are they saying? Nor it decolorizes bromine water or Bayes reagent. Okay, so bromine water and Bayes reagent are simply nothing but test for unsaturation. If compound is testing positive for bromine water or Bayes reagent, what does it mean? That means it has double bond in it. Okay, sp2 carbon or sp3 carbon plus sp or sp2 carbon present in that, right? So what are the things we can now say now? Finally, that there is no unsaturation in this compound. So look at the final line. On drastic oxidation with chromic acid, it gives carboxylic acid. Okay, that's cool, because chromic acid is nothing but a strong oxidizing agent, correct? And it is giving a compound B having a molecular formula C7H6O2. So for the first time now only I'm also reading the question. The simple thing, because I just want to act as a reference, right? Because let's see, how you process this question and what are the things that comes to my mind when I'm solving this question. Okay, so by now, what are all the things I can say? This compound has ketone group in it. This compound is a ketone. And one more thing, it is having C7 and H6. Okay, two things are very important. First is we need to have common sense and we need to make calculated guess. Okay, now listen. So C8H8O. So you see, it must have CH3 C double bond O. That's why it is testing for positive for haloform test. Okay, and now I'm subtracting. What is the compound B I'm getting? I'm getting C7H6O2, which should be a carboxylic acid, yes or no? Okay, so I'm getting C7H6O2. Okay, so now you look at here. So what do we have here? It is nothing but our acetophenone, yes or no? C6H5. If you add that, what do we get? We get C7C8. Okay, H8O. Clear? And what happens when we oxidize acetophenone in presence of chromic acid? Chromic acid is nothing but CrO3 in presence of water. Okay, H plus. What do we get? We get H2CrO4. Correct? Okay. So what happens here? This gets oxidizes and we get OH. Correct? So this is the compound B. This is our compound A. I hope this helps. Okay, basically what are the things we need to solve this? We need to have some idea about, okay, which compound positive for which test. Basically they are asking, listing out all the tests, right? Like tolerance test, fillings test, Benedict's test. Okay, and then haloform test and Bayes test and bromine water test. So you just have to go through that again and again in order to solve such kinds of questions. And this is very uncommon to ask in NEET examination if you see. Basically what they're asking what's the difference between sublimation and crystallization. That is the level of examinations in this present days. But solving these questions, these are I'll just give it as a rank deciding factor. Okay. So just go through this, right? I hope it helps. See you in the next video. Bye bye.